how to avoid blowing your first Forex account. Trading is such a beautiful skill. I honestly wish that it's talked about more, you know. I feel like if there are more traders, then more people will make more money because people would figure this stuff out. The thing about this skill set is you have to grow in it. Now in this video, I'm going to be explaining how you can avoid blowing your first Forex account or any Forex account that you're working on. It could be a funded account or a live trading account. So let's talk about how we can avoid blowing our money in this Forex market. Okay, so first of all, we need to understand that this particular skill set is a skill that requires us to grow in it. We have to grow as traders. We have to grow in this skill set. You honestly cannot just wake up tomorrow and decide to be a trader and then you start placing trades tomorrow. Like, that literally makes no sense. If I want to be a hairstylist, I'm not going to just wake up and go make someone's hair. I have to actually learn the skill, right? Same thing with trading. But the fact that we can just open a trading account at the snap of a finger and, you know, fund the account with a couple hundreds of dollars here and there, and then you just start trading, it just makes it a lot easier, you know, for people to get into the skill set, which is not a bad thing. But it is a bad thing if you don't know what you're doing. I have a couple of tips that would help you. Okay, so the first one is, before you even start trading, you have to have a plan. Okay, you've come into a skill or you've come into an industry. What is it that you actually want to achieve in this skill set? That's the first thing you have to ask yourself. Like, what do I actually want to achieve in this skill set? Okay. So you write your goals down regarding your trading. That's the first thing you do. Now, secondly, in order to actually place trades, you actually have to have a way to analyze the markets. Okay. You have to have a method of analyzing the markets to identify a potential trade idea or a potential move to take advantage of in order to make money. Okay. So that means that you have to have a trading strategy that you use. You have to have a trading strategy that you take advantage of. So after you have written down your goal, right, the next thing is you have to find a strategy. After you have found this strategy, it's not enough to just know what the strategy is. You have to become one and the same with your trading strategy. It could be a strategy you have identified maybe on a couple of YouTube videos or maybe through a course, right? So after you have identified this trading strategy, you now need to backtest it, meaning that you have to have a deep understanding of how the strategy works, the best market conditions for that trading strategy, how it appears, right? Because strategies would appear in different shapes and formats or different scenarios, right? So you have to understand that. So now the next thing is you have to get your reps in, okay? Meaning that you have to have a lot of repeated images of that strategy in your mind. So backtesting would definitely help you with that, but you also have to do forward testing. So in a live market condition, you have to watch out for the strategy, and while you're watching out, you're not actually placing trades. So at this point, you're not executing trades just yet. Okay, so what you're doing is you're just watching out for your strategy, just to get your reps in, to see what it looks like, multiple representations of this trading strategy. So after you have done this for a while, when you are now confident that you know this strategy, you have gotten your reps in, you know how it appears, the best market condition for this strategy, the best time to trade this strategy, the next thing is you now have to demo trade. Okay, some people frown on demo trading, but demo trading is a good way to test your skills in live market condition without burning real money. So you're able to test out your skills in a live market condition, right, without using real capital, right? So you can get familiar with the environment of actually placing trades, waiting for your setup, so you can get into the groove of what it actually means to be a trader. Okay, so now you are demoing for a period of time, not just one day. You demo trade your trades, okay, for a period of time. So remember, the first thing we have to do is write our goals down. What exactly is it that we're actually doing in this Forex industry, or whatever it is that you're trading? Second thing is you identify a trading strategy, okay? You become one and the same with your trading strategy. So then the third thing is you have to demo that strategy. So that way you're getting your reps in, you're getting familiar with the live market environment, and you're also, you know, getting familiar with the softwares, right? How to place a trade, stop loss, take profit, and all of that. So you're also doing that for a period of time as well. After you have done that and you are confident, then you can now trade with live capital. Now, when I say live capital, I actually mean a small amount of capital. If you are only 6 months into trading, you have no business depositing $10,000 into a trading account to trade with. No business doing that, because you still have to test your skills. You still have to test yourself out, right? Because when it comes to real money, there's a lot of emotions that come with it. So you have to get familiar with that as well. Okay, so now that you're ready to start trading with live capital, you're only going to deposit a small amount of money into that trading account to trade with. A small amount of money, okay? And you're going to start with the smallest lot size. Remember that you're starting out. So by doing that, you are getting familiar with the live market conditions, okay? You're getting familiar with your strategy, and you're also getting familiar with the emotions that come with trading live capital, because trading demo and trading live capital is not the same. Trading a prop firm account and trading live capital is still not the same thing. Okay, so if you actually want to trade live capital as a trader, then you have to get familiar with it. And in order to get familiar with it, you have to start with small amount of money. So that way you're gradually developing or growing in terms of, you know, managing your emotions as a trader, because that's where the bulk of the work goes in. Like, you see the technical analysis that we do, that's child's play. The real work comes in when you actually start trading live capital and your emotions come into play. That is where the work begins. Okay, so at this point, we have set our goals as traders. We have identified a trading strategy. We have gotten some reps in. We have traded on demo, and we have traded on small capital. Okay. So when you have reached this point, right, where you're trading with small capital, you now have to evaluate. As a trader, it is so important to constantly evaluate your performance. Like, no matter how long you are in the game, if you actually plan on staying in this skill set for a long period of time, you have to get into the habit of constantly evaluating your performance as a trader. So meaning, during the weekend, maybe the trades you took last week, you open up your charts or maybe your trading journal, and you analyze what you did, the things you did wrong, what you can improve on, and stuff like that. And also identify your strengths as a trader. It's so important to identify like the things you actually do well as a trader, okay? So that you can actually capitalize on your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. So by doing that, you're constantly growing in the skill set. And that growth actually equates to the profits, okay? The more you grow, the more profits you actually make. So instead of focusing on the dollar amount, focus on your growth as a trader. So at this point, now that we have analyzed all of this, this is when you now evaluate whether or not you're actually ready to increase your trading capital. Now, one of the most important tools that we use in order to maintain our trading in general is called risk management. Risk management is probably the most important factor when it comes to trading. Okay, the risk is the only thing you can actually control, because you literally cannot control the markets. You cannot tell what the market is going to do. You don't know what economic factors are going to be in play next week, in 2 weeks, in a month, right? So the only thing you can actually control is your risk. So risk management. So you have to get into the habit of managing your risk accordingly, meaning you always have to have a certain percentage that you risk per trade. You always have to have a certain percentage that you risk per trade that you want to execute. So let me just take it from the top. So the very first thing is, when you come into this industry, you have to write down your goals. What are you trying to achieve using the financial markets or using the Forex market, right? The next thing is you identify a trading strategy so you can get your reps in, you backtest that trading strategy and become one and the same with that strategy. Next thing is you demo trade, right? To get some more reps in, familiarize yourself with live market conditions. Then you start trading with small amounts of capital so that you can familiarize yourself with the emotions that come with trading live capital or real money, right? So after doing that, you have to evaluate where you're at as a trader. Do you need more education? Do you need to get more reps in? Or are you ready to scale up your capital? Okay. While you're doing all of that, you have to keep in mind that you have to maintain your trading psychology. You have to understand how to manage your emotions, understand how to maintain your risk management, and stay disciplined as a trader. Okay. So I hope this video was helpful. I'll see you guys in my next video.